Hi, and welcome to Alaskan in the Philippines. Today I thought I'd update you on the final chapter of my hernia surgery here in Hua Hin, Thailand at the government hospital. So I got it completed. It's been 10 or 11 days ago. And today was my first appointment with a doctor to see the doctor again after the surgery. I'd been in the hospital twice now for bandage changes. Just go out and get a bandage changed, and it would be $5 or $5.50 or something to change the bandage every time I went. I'd go in and I'd walk right in, hand them a piece of paper. I'd go to the window at that hospital every morning. When you show up, no matter what you had process going, there's a bunch of windows there when you first walk in, and there'll be the big lines there. You got to stand in that first line, and then you'll need your passport if you're getting checked into the hospital. Or for the first time, they only asked it the first time for me. And after that, they gave me an ID card, and I got that. They never asked for that again either. All they did was take my paper. You'll hand them the paper you get. They'll give you a paper if you didn't already get one, but you hand them that paper if you have an appointment, and they'll give you another paper. It's all written in Thai. You won't have a clue what it is or what it says. And then you have to ask them where you're going to go, and they're going to try to explain it to you. And they'll always ask you in the hospital, too, do you speak Thai? At every station when you show up, they'll ask you, do you speak Thai? And I always had to say no. So they'd go on with they'd find someone that could speak a little English, or they usually could themselves, but they'd always ask that if you could speak Thai. If there was a couple of places they just knew you didn't and didn't ask. But most places they did ask me through the process at every station, if I was going to get seen for medications or something important, they would ask, do you speak Thai? Of course they don't. But it was never I always had to have my translator handy, and if I had a question, I would type it up on the translator, take a picture of my question written in Thai. So if I had to wait in line, sometimes my translator would fizzle out. A lot of times it would. Because I'm hot spotting off my other phone. It didn't have a very good, that's an Android phone. The iPhone is the better for translating. So I always had a message. If I needed to ask something, I would have a picture of what it said in Thai before I got up there, so I didn't have to translate right in front of them. I just show them my phone, and they'd answer me one way or another. So you go in, but you get your paper, and then they'll send you off to a room, and then you go into another room, and you'll stand in line again and showing it to the desk, and then they'll take it and do your blood pressure and weight and height, and then you go sit down and wait. I went in about 8 o'clock this morning, 8:30, and I waited until about 12:30 maybe before I got seen. So it ain't so bad. I just walked over to the Amazon cafe over there and had a green tea. I got really good green tea. I love it. And then I wandered through the cooking, or the canteen, or whatever they call it, their food court and I took some video again. I watched a guy shuck a coconut complete with the coconut intact. He took the shell off it, and the whole coconut, just white ball, and he was selling them. He had a whole bunch of them there. But I videoed that in the food court again. I'll upload that later. You guys should really see this. And this is only one section of the food court. I might have uploaded one already, but it's just amazing, the amount of choices of food at the hospital. It's crazy amazing. And that's just one of them. There's another food court. There's actually 3 other places to get food. And a 7-Eleven. They have a 7-Eleven built into the hospital. Of course, everywhere in Thailand you turn, there's a 7-Eleven. But they actually have a 7-Eleven in the Hua Hin compound of the hospital. Right in the buildings, right next to the food court. But anyway, I went in and I seen the doctor at about 12 after waiting around having coffee and checking out the food court. I went in and I sat down and I got to go up and show them your paper. I show them my paper, and I had pressed up on my translator, what number are you on? And my number was 131 or something like that. And the first time I left it, when I went to have tea, they were only on number 30, and I was 131. But I went and had tea, and I came back later, and hung around for a while, and then I went up and asked them again which number, and then they told me to go back to the desk, other desk again, give me your paper to that desk over there. And I said, all right, well, I just came from there, but they said go back to that desk. So I go over to the other desk, same one I came from. They told me to wait, and that's your number right there. Hand them my thing again, and they reshuffled it, and they took it this time, and they brought it over, and then they said, you wait until they call your name. And they always do Mr. Jeffrey. That's my first name, Mr. Jeffrey. And I waited, and I finally, all the other names are in Thai. You can't understand when they when they make an announcement. You're trying to listen real hard to see what it is, and it's a name in Thai, and you cannot understand what they're saying. And then only when it come to my English name, I could understand my name, Jeffrey, Mr. Jeffrey. So I walked up and sat, and then you sit next to a room with just sliding glass, and there's like 3 chairs in front of it, and the surgeon's in this sliding glass, like sliding door, like a Japanese style door. And you sit there, and there's like 3 chairs there with 3 people waiting. There's all these doors of different doctors. There's about 6 doors going. You just sit there and wait, and everybody's looking at you, jealous, wishing they were you, up sitting already that close. Well, the whole room was packed. They were packed with people in beds, you know, with guys with amputated legs and people in wheelchairs, all waiting. I was, of course, I'm the only, no, there was one other foreigner. You do see a foreigner in there every now and then. I saw another one came in. But yeah, you're sitting there, everybody's smiling, happy, everybody's helpful, no ugly stares or anything. It was really friendly. People help you out if you could translate anything. So there I am to see the doctor again. That was at the same place, same chair I was sitting in, waiting at that sliding glass door to actually see him the first time before the surgery. And where it was the same surgeon. I was figuring it was the same surgeon anyway. And I come to my turn and I go in. Sure enough, it's same surgeon that told me that he asked me, you want to be knocked out right before the surgery? I said, yeah. Knock me out, of course. I don't want to see my guts, you know. Okay. And then I waited for something. They gave me a spinal tap and made me go numb from about my chest on down. They picked me with this pin going down. I told you all about it. But anyway, to see if I was numb. Once I was numbed out, he peeks around the corner of the tent they built around me, and he goes, oh, you still want to go to sleep yet? I was like, yeah, I want to go to sleep, man. You're going to operate on me here in minutes. He goes, okay. And he goes back around, and I could feel a little bit. I thought they were just washing and shaving me. I could feel my body moving just a little bit, but it was totally numb. But anyway, then a minute, seemed like it was just a couple of minutes, 3 to 5 minutes later, 10 minutes maybe, he pokes around, he goes, oh, we're done. I said, really? You didn't put me out to sleep? And he just went around the corner again. But anyway, here I am, and I'm facing him again after the operation, first time I seen him again. And he's like, how you doing? He took him a second, then he recognized me. Oh, how you doing? I'm doing really good. It feels really good. You know, the pain's almost gone. I'm slapping it right now. It's not hurting. I can feel a little bit of pain inside, the stitching in there is healing probably. It feels a bit swelled yet, probably. They stitched up the inside of the wall of my gut, holding my guts in, the diaphragm area is what it kind of is. And they stitched it up, and they put a mesh in there, so there's a little bit of a slight abscess in there. It's raised a bit, so I'm sure that's probably going to be permanent, but it's not ugly it's not a big ugly bump or anything. It looks like just a smooth raised area. And I'm guessing some of that swelling will go down, and there's stitching in there too, so the knots from the stitching probably going to keep it raised. But it stays in, and that's all that was important to me. And it's feeling good, and it's healing up good. There's no ugly pus coming out of it. He took the stitches off today, and he was just pulling these butterfly stitches that were all butted up across the wound like this. They just put a bunch of strips. Tightly, too. They were all tight. And it held it together. And I wondered if there was going to be stitching underneath it. And he took them off today. Peeled them all off, and there was no stitching underneath it. It was just taped together. And very little bit of scabbing, hardly any scabbing yet, and it's all ready to crusty, fall off, ready to fall off and be healed. he said no heavy lifting still for another week or two. I couldn't quite catch what he said. And he goes, no push-ups, especially push hard at 1 month, he said. And then after that, he says, after that, it's okay, anything you want. I said, it'll be good as new? Yep, good as new. So I was really happy with that. And then I had, that was it. I said, no more bandage back on it? He said, no, you can shower now, completely shower, and no problem at all. Just be careful, no heavy lifting for 2 weeks and another month. So I was like, wow, I'm done. Thank you. Oh, and I brought from the US, I had one time I had like 25 and 30 of these silver eagles. They're $1, but they're an ounce of silver. I had brought one because I was pretty happy what he did for me, and I know he probably, for a surgeon in Thailand, he probably don't make a lot of money. He lives better than everybody else, but he still probably only works for 150 a day or 200 a day, maybe not even that, at a government hospital, probably paying back his tuition and stuff. So I had one of them in my pocket, and I go, hey, Happy New Year. And I gave him, he's like, well, what's this? I just turned around and walked out. And then I handed the paper to the desk lady, and she looks at it, and they always tell me, go to window 7. That's where you pay. Next building down to go down, go over into the where you came in the morning, right by the entrance. There's a whole row of windows over there, pharmacy windows over the other side, and then this windows here are cashiers. You just go up. Nobody there pays, I don't think. Or if, oh yeah, they do, but they just pay a little bit. In fact, that's right. When she was doing my paper for my bill, she goes, do you work? And I remembered they asked me that last time too. Do you work? I said, no, I don't work. I'm retired. You don't work? Or no. So maybe that has something to do with how you get billed in Thailand. I don't know. But they asked me both times. I remember, do you work? I thought it was strange. It was right during the billing process. And I know they only charge the Thais just a few bucks. I think it's so small. It's like $5 or something. So I had to go pay for my doctor's visit. She gave me a paper back in Thai after another paper. Everything's always in Thai, so I never know what anything says. So they're just handing you papers you can't read. You gotta go find the person to give it to and the place to be at. So you gotta go, and I say, Windows 7? Yeah, because I knew I had to pay there. So I figured I was done and I had to go pay. I go down to Windows 7, hand him my papers, doctor visit for today. He probably only spent 20 minutes. He took my stitches off and stuff, probably about 20 minutes, maybe tops 30 minutes. And she took my paper up on the calculator and shows me 180 baht for a doctor's visit. 180 baht is it's about $5. 550 maybe, or yeah, five something, 550, 560, or 560. It's really cheap. So under $6, I got a doctor's visit. He took my stitches out and gave me the advice I needed. Fixed my hernia for under $1,000 total, and less than $1,000, probably around $850 total to get my hernia fixed from start to finish. That's probably what I'd guesstimated at. The actual billing was only $696, and then I had to pay a nurse. So if you had someone to watch you, you wouldn't have them nurse fees. So for a 2-night stay in the hospital, 2 bandage changes, and another two doctor visits, a surgery, and 2 bandage changes. So that was quite a bit done, and that was never exceeded $800, probably $800, $900 at the most. Pretty good deal. And I'm glad I got it done at this hospital. The other hospital was going to cost $4,000, and this was a savings of at least $3,000. $3,001 or $200, $3,200. So it's a pretty good deal. And I think although they said at the other hospital it would be a arthroscopic surgery where it would have been a shorter healing time, and they would have just went in with 2 small holes. I think it would have been better. It would have looked nicer. And then this was an actual open incision. It's about that long, 3 inches, I would guesstimate. And so if you had the insurance or big spender or didn't want to spare no expense, I would probably recommend you try that surgery. And the only place they offered that surgery that I know of here in Hua Hin was Bangkok Hospital. I asked him if he did that surgery. He said no. He said, "Do you still want it?" And I said, "Yeah." So it was my choice. I would have got a better, smaller incision up there. I don't know how, but he said the healing time would have been half or some 2 weeks, but still, it's fine with me if save that kind of money. Now I got a battle scar to show. Got a tour, better than a tattoo, I think. And it was a good day at the hospital again. I like it out there. It's an open air. There's a kind of a trees growing up in the middle of the building where it's a square in the middle of the rooms. Everything's kind of open air, trees and picnic tables, real relaxed. Nice food court, just beautiful food court. Oh, and I saw the little boy that befriended me the last time I was there getting my surgery. His dad was getting surgery, and I could tell he was bored. He was running around my bed while I was in the hall, so he was running around all the time. And I got to know him. He came over, and his dad knew a little English, and I got to talk to him. He taught him a little English. He counted 10, and he did his ABCs in English. He was learning English, so I helped him out with a few things, showed him pictures of snow in Alaska and stuff. But he was there and ran right up to me. Everybody's looking at me like, "How do you know this kid?" Young little 7-year-old boy just ran right up to me. So that was cool. See old faces, and his dad was there getting his wound checked again, probably. His dad had cancer. I was feeling weird, bad for him until the day I was leaving. He was checking out too. They were letting him go. I guess they did a surgery and fixed him. That was good. But anyway, that's my experience of getting my hernia fixed here in Hua Hin, Thailand at the government hospital. I would highly recommend them if you needed surgery and were looking for a cost-efficient way to do it. Very competent doctors and nurses, and everybody knew what they were doing. Really professional. Everything was top-notch, I would say. Other than, excuse me, the building was old and dated, and it was a little rough, but a government hospital. But all the surgical rooms and all the actual doctors' rooms are very clean and very health conscious. And I couldn't say enough. I would definitely recommend them if you needed something done. Well, anyway, I hope you helped you out. I know there's a couple of you guys that are out there kind of in the same boat as me. So good luck to you. And I wouldn't have no worries about it. Just plan to be sore for the first day or two. And after that, the healing expedited pretty quick. The pain went away within a few days, so you'll heal up quick. And I would go for it if I were you and you need to get it done. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.